Everyone, and welcome to Boogie Mama Riffs. Today we're going to be doing a review, I haven't done one for a while, on AC/DC Back in Black in 1980, which is the first Brian Johnson album, first album that AC/DC did with their new vocalist, Brian Johnson, after Bon Scott sadly passed away. And most of you may have heard Back in Black before. It's actually one of the, I think, second or third biggest selling rock albums ever, and that's just awesome. So I'm pretty sure everyone's going to like this today. I just thought about this album that you can imagine. I personally have been in bands, I'm not sure if anyone out there has, but imagine you're on the cusp of success. You know, as Bon Scott used to say, that AC/DC were, they were in debt for a long time when they were touring Europe or touring England and UK and America. They were in debt a lot of the time, and then finally they started to break into the American market, and they had their new producer, Robert Mutt Lange, and Highway to Hell just went platinum, and the band had really grown, from Power Age to Highway to Hell. And then all of a sudden, they're on the cusp of success. Bon, as God bless him, one of my heroes, Bon Scott. When I was in high school, I actually did a speech or an assignment or something on Bon Scott. They said, who do you most admire in the world or something? And I did a speech on Bon Scott, anyway. And Bon Scott, really, he went through. I'll do another video another time about how Bon was with other bands like Fraternity, the Valentines, and different bands like that. And then he joined AC/DC. And in my humble opinion, Bon, who was the most experienced one in the band, other than Vander and Young, Bon really, grabbed these boys, by the collar and pulled them along, over the line and into the big time of rock and roll. And I know George Young, and to a point Harry Vander, I read in Jesse Fink's book, I think it was Jesse Fink's book, Martin Popoff's book, he said that when Harry Vander and George Young were in the Easy Beats, their dream was to have this Australian band that could go worldwide, that they could conquer the world, and they almost did it. The Easy Beats, they were a great band, and who knows, maybe we'll do some stuff on the Easy Beats on this channel one day. If you guys want to, maybe write down in the comments, say Easy Beats, yes, and I'll do it. I love the Easy Beats. And Bon Scott came in and really took these guys and dragged them, up into, because Bon was a fair bit older than the guys, and he just pulled them up and showed them how to do it. And unfortunately, once they lost Vander and Young, they had a positive, which was Robert Mutt Lange. And as I spoke in a previous review, how Robert Mutt Lange really brought the guys in AC/DC from what we would say a high school level, if you can say that, to a adult band. That's the way I see it. And I just want to go through the album quickly now. As Brian Johnson came to audition for AC/DC, he was in a band called Geordie, and as far as I know, Brian Johnson was a mechanic or a panel beater or something like that, something to do with cars. And someone called Brian Johnson and said, "Hey, listen, do you want to audition for a band?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, sure, what's the name of the band?" and they said, "Well, we can't tell you the name of the band, but we can give you their initials." So AC/DC was the band. And John, I said, "Well, I can't afford to go down there, but I'm going down there to do a Hoover ad soon, so I might be able to do it." And apparently Brian Johnson had to go to another part of the UK to do a Hoover ad, and he went to audition for AC/DC, and you can imagine how many people would have auditioned for that band. Who wouldn't want to be the singer of AC/DC? And Brian Johnson went to his audition, and he came in, apparently, and the story is, some of you may have heard it, that Brian Johnson was down there playing pool with the roadies, and I can 100% see why they picked Jono for the job. He's just a good bloke, you know. I've seen him live a few times and in real life, and I just think he was a good bloke, Jono, and he had a good singing voice, and he was rock and roll, you know. And apparently Brian Johnson came to the audition, and AC/DC, the band audition, was upstairs, but he was downstairs playing pool with the roadies. And they said, "Hey man, you're a good bloke, what are you doing here?" And he goes, "I'm here for the audition of the AC/DC. And they go, "Well, that's upstairs, you know." I think I heard Angus say that once, that you're here to audition for the band, that's upstairs. And so Johnny goes, "Oh wow." So Brian Johnson went up, auditioned for AC/DC, the rest is history. He came and recorded one of the best vocal performances he has done maybe in his life, one would say. And I just want to go through some of the songs on AC/DC Back in Black. And the first song is Hell's Bells. I really think that was kind of, you know, they had the bell at the start, and the song and the title of the sleeve was called Back in Black, which some of you may have read Jesse Fink's book, which tends to lean towards the idea that AC/DC were in debt for years. They were in the red, meaning bad. And now finally they were getting some money in that, and now they were back in the black. So maybe that's one of the titles of Back in Black. But usually, you know, if someone passes away, you wear black. That's why they call them Black in Black. So that's why they did Hell's Bells with the bell at the start. And the next song is Shoot to Thrill. Really, unfortunately, overplayed, especially live. That's the one they always do, kind of second live these days. What Do You Do for Money, Honey? That's a good track. Giving the Dog a Bone. Yeah, I like that song. And Let Me Put My Love Into You. Yeah, cool song. So you can imagine, no pressure on Brian Johnson, how he, you know, he just went in and just, and apparently I read in one book, that when Brian Johnson did the vocal tracks for Back in Black in the Bahamas, that he actually just did one song per day. Because you can imagine trying to sing at that level more than one song a day. You know, he might have done some run-throughs or whatever, but apparently that was the story, that Brian Johnson did one song a day and recorded it, and he nailed it, and they kept it. And the second side of Back in Black is the song Back in Black, which is one of my personal favourites. Most people like and know Back in Black. And also You Shook Me All Night Long. That sort of got them into the MTV charts. Another song is Have a Drink on Me. I tell you what, I saw AC/DC here in Australia. It was honestly, I was about second or third front row, and they played Have a Drink on Me on the Rockville bus tour, and I'll tell you what, you hear that live, that was a sick song, sick version, Have a Drink on Me. One of my faves to hear AC/DC play live. And Shake a Leg. I'll tell you what, you want to hear someone sing high? Brian Johnson singing Shake a Leg. You know, even my dog, some of you might know my dog, even my dog can't hear some of those notes that Brian Johnson is singing on that. And the last song is Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, which is basically a track, I think they got some noise complaints or something like that. And the moral to that song is that whoever you want to guess in the band had a girl there, and she came in, and he goes, "Hey, you want to get jiggy in bed, so to speak?" And she goes, "No, I'd rather rock and roll instead." So, you know, and I love how AC/DC, right at the end of that album, they finish the song and they say, "Rock and roll is just a rock and roll, yeah." And they finish on that note there. AC/DC are gentlemen, they always close the door as they go out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review today. Looking forward to doing some more stuff. Stay watching, and thank you for watching Boogie Mama Riffs. Remember to like and subscribe, and I really appreciate everyone watching. Looking forward to next